We're back, and again, I am Peaches and your host of On Location TV with my guest today, Elroy Shelton. Hey,
Hi.
it's kind of like a dead silence there for a
Yeah, you
second.
trying to make me blush or something. I'm not used to being in front of these cameras.
Oh, like I told you, you gotta forget the cameras.
Okay, I'm
You
gonna
gotta
try to
forget
do
the
that.
cameras and just chill out, and we just having a conversation. I could have brought water to the table and offered you something because my goal is to make this an easy process.
Okay.
And we just so laid back.
I'm
Just
fine. I'm fine.
okay, good, good, because this is a stepping stone, so to speak,
That's right.
to greater things. Because
Hopefully.
when
Yeah.
you get on CBS and all those
Wow.
places, I just want you to say, "Hey, Peaches."
I certainly will.
Just give me a little shout out.
Okay.
Use me as a stepping stone. Now we've talked about about Elroy Shelton, who he is, and some of the life lessons that you've learned, and we're kind of up to the point where we were still conversing about those life lessons that you've learned through experiences, but also that good family foundation that you
Oh, yeah.
received. Talk about that just for a second.
Well, that my family, I think it goes back. It has to go back to my dad, and God rest his soul. He's been gone since 1969, and that's been a long time. I was 8 years old when he passed.
Oh, okay.
But being that young when he passed, I mean, I was old enough to have instilled in me, a lot of good morals and good foundation as far as how I should come along being a young man, and just I even look back at my father as a guidance now, to who I need to be as a man.
Right.
And I try to pass that on to my children, and of course they never knew him.
Right.
But they hear of him, and I'm sure they feel that they do know him. But other than my father, you had two parents in the house then, my dad and my mom, who believed the same way and raised us the same way. And when you being raised like that by two parents, two strong parents, you're gonna come out one way.
Right.
There's no confusion anywhere. You know who you are. You know who you're gonna be. And I mean, I remember, man, sometimes if and then they beat us back then. When you do something.
Probably could have called 911.
Oh, they could have been in jail if them laws been, if they was in place back then. But it wasn't abuse at all.
Right.
It was keeping you in line.
Right. And that's something that, like, what we're talking about, that really don't happen now. It's like almost like kids having kids.
Yeah.
So the kids don't know really how to train, and they still in the learning process, so to speak.
That's exactly right. The parent got to know first.
Right.
If the parent don't know, and to me, it doesn't matter how old a person is. If you're a parent and you got to steer your child right, if you have any doubt that you don't know what right is, no matter what situation you're trying to bring that child up in, ask somebody, an older person or pastor in a church, and seriously, if you're not in the Word, you're going wrong anyway. You're gonna have a whole lot of mistakes.
So you need that foundation, spiritual foundation, so to speak.
Definitely.
So what would you say, really, to the audience or children or teenagers that might be watching, based on your life experiences as far as our next generation? What would you say to them?
To this next generation, I would say, look to your church, look to your pastor, and again, if you're not trying to live and doing it from the Word, you're gonna have some things you can't deal with. You're not gonna understand, and just look to your pastor. I mean, there are a lot of men out here in the world got their own ideas. They're gonna tell you their ideas. He's gonna tell you his. He's gonna tell you his. So I mean, seriously.
So you're saying a good spiritual foundation.
Right.
Education, of course.
Yeah.
Because you're really big on education.
Definitely.
And in order to, they're going to make some ups and downs, rights and left.
Mm-hmm.
All of it's not going to be the right path, but if they have that spiritual foundation, so to speak, you know, we all kind
That's the
of
first guidance, yeah.
waver a little bit, but
we
can get back on that right lane.
Oh yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
That exactly. You know, once that's in you and you've got an understanding with that, you know, just find your church, pick your church. You'll get it in you if you feel that pastor is leading you the way that you need to be led, or you know, you can't go wrong if you're in church. You can't.
Now let's switch over and talk about something else for a second, because when I read in your bio, you know, about some things that you like to do, and that's old school music.
Oh, definitely. I like to
play
relax
pool.
with. Yeah.
Talk about that's the other side of Elroy, right?
Those are two of my passions.
Okay.
I don't just like it; I love it. It's in my blood. Playing pool. I play pool at home now.
Really?
I listen to my music, what I want to listen to at home.
And you like that old school stuff, huh?
Definitely, it's in my blood. I mean, it's real music. It's something that, you know, what I would call real music. When I say real music, it's because I can relate to it more so than I can other types of music.
Right,
you know.
right. And we can say that the type of music now, which I don't have any problem with, whatever you want to listen to.
To each his own.
To each his own.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you can get some of that old school music.
That works for me.
And then if you want to venture off, you got to have that foundation, that old school music first, so to speak, in order to get where you are right now. Because,
you do.
With our young folks now, you know, they love the rap, and I like.
And that came from somewhere.
Yeah, that
you know,
came from somewhere.
If you dig back and look back far enough, you're gonna find the roots. It's gonna be old school. It's gonna be the blues. It's gonna be old school. It's gonna be classic soul. It's gonna be, you know, rap and today's hip hop came from somewhere.
Oh, okay, okay. It sure did. It sure did. Now, we have about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
And this segment, before we want to talk about that last segment, the entire segment about that voice.
Okay.
And I have to say it, the Ted Williams voice. I don't want to just say, you know, Ted Williams, but we want to talk about him, how just, you know, that background that he had.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody heard that voice before. And
well, I've always wished him well. I think he can do well.
Right.
You know, and people are always gonna look for him.
Right, right, with that voice.
Definitely.
You have that voice. It's not. I just, you know, kind of put it in that context, Ted Williams' voice, but you have your own individual style.
Exactly. I've most of my life, I think I've gotten Morgan Freeman.
Really?
Or having that type of voice. But actually, we was at Morgan Freeman's Ground Zero nightclub.
Oh, okay.
And I was sitting next to a couple. It was a young white couple. I don't know if they've ever seen Morgan Freeman in couple, but me, you know, being a little older with the gray and my hat on and everything, this girl kept looking at me. I'm like, told my wife, I hope she don't think I'm Morgan Freeman, because I was talking and, you know, having that voice. But I've been told a lot, you sound just like Morgan Freeman. Can you sing? No, I can't sing. Never tried to sing. I want to speak if it's narrating or radio, TV commercials or whatever.
Okay.
I'd like to get into doing that type of stuff.
Okay. Well, we're going to take another break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about nothing but this entire segment about the voice.
Really? Okay.
So we're going to take another break and we'll be right back.